Okay, so I told y'all sometimes the copyright they take the stream down. It's fine. We are back. We'll do the whole Clips Breakfast Club interview. I'll do that in a different way. The interview did just drop, and it's a major platform. So yeah, the copyright, they be after me crazy, man. Like I can't do nothing, but it's fine. I get it. But while I was re-uploading my stream, I was thinking I have an idea for a video. Basically, that's all I'll say. But I'll save it because I don't want people taking my idea. So anyway, yo, we about to watch this video by our guy. What's the dirt? Shout out, what's the dirt? What's up? The reason why T-Pain hated Drake for 15 years. So I actually haven't watched this yet, but I am interested to see it. Because what's the dirt? He be doing some deep research. I never knew T-Pain hated Drake, personally. He just dropped something else too. Drake Sabotage Pusha T album. Maybe we watch that too. We'll see. Hold on.
To have any sort of beef or on the surface, T-Pain and Drake never really seem to have any sort of.
But yeah, we'll let everybody trickle in. We just gonna jump right into it. But yeah, I told you, yo, the copyright people be on me. Tough. They be on me. It's all good though.
Beef or any reason not to like each other. But what if I told you there's been tension bubbling for over a decade?
Yeah, they got
Drake
me.
just exposed it. T-Pain recently threw some shade in Drake's direction by more or less saying that Drake should consider retirement, and to this Drake fired back, claiming that T-Pain had secretly resented him for years.
I never knew T-Pain had a thing with Drake. I never knew that.
No, listen. Okay, I got another one. Hold, check this out. Check this out. Y'all didn't like that one? Okay, real quick. Just one more.
And after digging into this, Drake was actually right.
He's gonna run for 7 minutes.
Absolutely, for sure. Weird ass cadence.
Oh, wow.
Soft his voice is.
Keep going.
His arms is mad little.
Okay.
Give me a word to describe him. Kanye West.
Do they know each other? Like, is this like playful jabs?
Awesome.
Drake.
Singy. But I don't think it's cool when it's like T-Pain shouldn't be rapping and singing, and then it's cool for Drake to do it.
And honestly, just based off my own judgment of character, T-Pain has always seemed like a genuinely good dude. He doesn't give off Snake vibes at all. He's got a contagious personality. Super like
T-Pain, he seemed cool. I guess sometimes it seems like he's just too drunk sometimes. So he says things that he necessarily shouldn't.
And he usually comes off as someone who's pretty positive, but make no mistake about it, he's got some internal issues with respect to Drake. So there's no doubt that he is a Drake hater, but the question really is why. First off, I've been seeing a lot of T-Pain slander on the timeline, which is pretty wild considering that he did crawl.
No, I'm glad that What's the Dirt did this timeline, because I was literally about to make a comment about how Drake kind of came in right as T-Pain's peak ended. And I wasn't sure if I was right because I'm just using memory. So I'm glad he's got this timeline. So yeah, T-Pain introduces the world to autotune 2005. Okay, so when did I'm Sprung by T-Pain come out? Because that was really like T-Pain's big record, first big record that I remember. 2005, right? Yeah, okay, rapper turned singer. I actually have this album, physical. I have this physical album. I bought it at the old Amoeba in LA by Capitol Records. The old Amoeba, they moved it across the street. It's smaller now. So yeah, 05, Lil Wayne starts to use it. 07, T-Pain will collab with Lil Wayne around this time. Songs like Got Money, I Can't Believe It, etc., etc. Kanye drops 808s in 08, and then Drake's drops So Far Gone. Let me pull up T-Pain's discography. I want to say T-Pain, just based on memory. Again, I'm just going off memory, but I was a kid back then, so I don't know how much I can trust my memory on this. I would say T-Pain kind of fizzled out like around 09. Jay-Z dropped Death of Auto-Tune like in 08. And then, yeah, Drake became a superstar in 09. But let me just pull up his album right quick. See, I never knew T-Pain and Drake had a thing. I mean, I guess they don't have a thing. I guess T-Pain is just a hater, according to What's the Dirt. Okay, yeah. So that adds up. T-Pain drops 3 Rings album in 08, then he takes a 3-year break. What was on this Revolver album? Let's not turn the lights on. Yeah. So this is kind of where this album wasn't as hitting as Three Rings was. Yeah, Can't Believe It. Chopped and Screwed. Okay. Yeah, so that makes sense. Where all the toppers at? Yeah, we gotta wait for the toppers to rejoin. You know, when they clip your stream, people get confused, man.
Drake could run. If you're a fan of Wayne, Thug, Future, Drake, Travis Scott, Kanye, Chief Keef, Lil Baby, Gunna, Playboy Carti,
just because of T-Pain.
We can line them all up, along with the majority of artists over the past few eras. They were all influenced by T-Pain through a sound that he helped.
Why is Baby Keem here? Baby Keem. It's crazy. Get this nigga out of here, man.
When you look at the era that T-Pain stepped into, it's not hard to understand why he caught so much hate early on.
Yeah, it's a gangster rap era.
And hip-hop was still very gritty. You had guys like 50, Jeezy, Wayne, Dipset, T.I., The Game. So when T-Pain popped up out of nowhere, singing and rapping with this weird robotic-sounding voice, a lot of people didn't know what to make of it. Many looked at autotune as a gimmick, and they saw it as a cheat code for people.
But people did like T-Pain, though. But it's true that he did go through some trials and tribulations. I think after T-Pain got a couple of hits under his belt, he started to be more accepted. But yeah, right in the beginning, people was kind of like, even though they liked his music, he did get a lot of criticism for using autotune.
People who couldn't actually sing. And because T-Pain was doing both, he was pretty much getting triple the hate as he got backlash from rap, R&B, and even pop. A lot of you will probably remember that there was a narrative going around that T-Pain couldn't even sing, like he had no talent.
Yeah, he can't sing,
some old comments from during that era that echoed the exact same sentiment. Check out anything by T-Pain, it's nothing but uncreative noise. T-Pain has been open up to the complete
that aged poorly.
Accurate accusation that he can't actually sing. Autotune found its poster child with T-Pain, but here's the thing, T-Pain can't sing.
Well, T-Pain can sing. T-Pain can sing really well, actually.
People like T-Pain who can't sing at all are starting to deface the value of good harmony, which turned out to be all bullshit because T-Pain actually could sing.
Nah, he can sing. Shout out to the Dodgers.
Even on his debut album, T-Pain was already showcasing really early on that he could actually sing without autotune.
This album is actually not that great, but you can hear the vision. You can see the vision of where he was going to take things. But this album's actually not that great.
But the masses didn't get the message.
You would hold me down when things got poppin'.
He just wasn't really an album artist. Like, he wasn't known for his deep cuts.
Yeah.
People bought his CDs
for the singles
records like these.
Hey.
And with records like that, one hit turned into two turned into a streak, and before you knew it, he was the go-to guy for hooks. If you wanted a hit in 2006, pretty much up to 2000.
That's a lot of hits. Good Life. That's a lot of hits. Low featuring Flow Rider. Good Life, Kanye. What else we got right here?
One hit turned into two turned into a streak, and before you knew it,
I'm a Flirt, R. Kelly. This is hit after hit. I'm so hood.
He was the go-to guy for hooks.
Shawty featuring Plies. Cyclone featuring Baby Bash. That was a big hit in California.
Pretty much up to 2009, T-Pain was definitely the man to call. He dominated radio. He was on damn near every remix.
T-Pain won the first season of The Masked Singer. I don't even know what that is. What was it? That was like a little competition show. And he got chops. I used to be a hater, but I was also 13, 14-ish then. I hated on a lot of music in my youth, but I actually never hated on T-Pain. I actually always liked T-Pain's music.
And he basically became the sound of that era.
Oh yeah, Buy You a Drink was that song has to be like diamond by now. Buy You a Drink, that was a huge song. Oh yeah, yep. Kiss, yeah, that was a good one. I'm the biggest hustler that you're seeing thus far.
The craziest part about the whole thing is that the very tool that T-Pain got roasted for, autotune, ended up becoming the sound of the industry.
Yeah.
Artists like Wayne and Kanye were some of the first major names to fully embrace it. In fact, T-Pain literally sat down with Kanye and even taught him how to use it.
Oh yeah, now you're getting people who can't actually sing using autotune. It's funny because that's how they critiqued T-Pain, but he could sing. But then once they came to accept autotune, it was the people who actually can't sing using it.
And even when Kanye and Wayne first started using autotune, like they got a bunch of hate too.
Yeah, they
I
did.
heard
They
the single
did.
for Heartless. He's not gonna drop a whole album with this already overused autotune bullshit, is he?
Yes. Yeah, the answer is yes. He's definitely about to do that. Kanye got a lot. Yo, the reason why the 808s and Heartbreaks album by Kanye is so hated, a huge part of that was because of the autotune. And also, Kanye's coming off the college dropout. He's coming off late registration and graduation, which are these socially conscious, super socially aware albums. So to go from that, and he's using soul samples and all this. So to go from that to 808s and Heartbreak, it was very jarring for people who were fans of Kanye, but they were like, let's say older. If you were like 25 to 34 years old or older, you're a fan of Kanye, you like the soul samples, the slow jams, to go straight from that, Kanye even had Ray Charles, the Gold Digger song. So to go from that straight into 808s and 808s and Heartbreaks was very jarring for a lot of people, especially if you were older. So yeah, Kanye got a lot of criticism for the auto-tune on 808s.
I heard the single for Heartless. He's not going to drop a whole album with this already overused
Yes, he is,
auto-tune
buddy.
bullshit, is he? The answer is yes. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah. Facts.
All of a sudden, the gimmick that T-Pain was so heavily clowned for was literally everywhere. I don't know the names of the songs, but when you turn on Top 40 radio, you will hear it used very, very badly on 90% of songs. You won't have to wait long to find a pop or R&B singer that...
And to their credit, it was overused. Auto-tune was overused. It was too much. Like almost every song on the radio, at least rap-wise, hip-hop-wise, even R&B, they're using auto-tune. So yeah, it was overused.
That is auto-tuned to the point of not sounding human. And it's unfortunate because even though everyone was using it, T-Pain got all the hate. The name T-Pain was synonymous with auto-tune. He was the face of it, and he didn't do himself any favors as he completely leaned into it. At one point, he even created an auto-tune app for the iPhone, and eventually the vocal tool itself got completely...
I loved 808s as an 11-year-old kid. It was my first Kanye album. Yeah, that was the first moment for Kanye, I think, as a solo musician, where you had a lot of people just leave his fan base. You've had moments like that since then, like with the Trump hat or with the George Bush doesn't care about black people, or even with the Sunday service. There are like these seminal points in Kanye's career where people are kind of like, I don't know if I can continue listening to this. The 808s and Heartbreak was the first one. I remember that vividly. And yeah, I feel like the younger audience, like me and you at the time, who said that? Javi? We're like kids at the time. So we don't really mind the auto-tune necessarily from T-Pain. But I think the older Kanye fans, not auto-tune from T-Pain, auto-tune from Kanye, but I think the older Kanye fans who like the slow jams, the spaceships, the Gold Digger, they could not, like it was unpalatable for them, the amount of auto-tune that he was using on 808s. But yeah, I think it's something that younger people like more. Even I remember watching a video or an interview with Lil Uzi Vert. He mentions how 808s and Heartbreaks is one of his favorite albums. It's an age thing for sure.
Exploited online, where people were using it to crack jokes all over the internet. I'm never gonna live it up that I didn't start a YouTube channel back then. Like shit was so fucking easy.
Yeah,
look
easy.
What I'm doing right now. You hit the like button, please. By this point, music.
Doing what we do now, it'll be a lot harder. Imagine trying to live stream in 2006. Did the technology even exist? Like I don't even think the technology existed. Like you couldn't get a cam link or anything like that, and it was so expensive. You know what I mean? And I don't even think YouTube had a monetization like partner program back then. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot easier.
Were growing tired. Complaints were being made that every song sounded the same. And even T-Pain tried to get in front of it as he wrote an entire diss record to all the people who were biting his sound.
So what the fuck with these niggas laughing at me when I see their ass? Now why it's cool for you, but it's not for me?
So he's even saying,
I never heard
like,
that.
why are these guys able to do it, but I keep getting hate for the same thing? However, an artist with a song that didn't go unnoticed was none other than Jay-Z, as he dropped an entire record where he calls it all out, the death of autotune.
You niggas singing too much. Get back to rap. You T-Paining too much. This record actually was very big, but it didn't kill autotune. Autotune only got bigger after this.
This is anti-autotune, death for the ringtone.
On the track, Hov plays it really smart because he's echoing what music fans were already saying.
Yeah.
He's literally calling for the end of autotune, and this track kicked the criticism for both the Tool and T-Pain into high gear.
This is on what, Blueprint 3?
Autotune was cool for the first 10 songs, but seriously, T-Pain and imitators, enough is enough. I'm with Jay-Z on this one. Soon enough, we started seeing articles and blog posts where autotune was listed as a music industry trick that needed to die. Even big stars like Christina Aguilera were seen wearing t-shirts that said autotune was for pussies. Bands like Death Cab for Cutie went as far to organize full-on hate campaigns against it, and even artists like John Mayer were clowning it.
Well, yeah, I think it's fair because the amount of autotune, it was atrocious. You even had guys like Jim Jones using autotune. Pop Champagne and Ron Browse came out. Y'all know Ron Browse, he did the Ether beat. He came. It was way too much. So I do understand people coming out to clown it. I do understand it. But that's not T-Pain's fault.
The main target and focus of all the hate, and this type of backlash was pretty confusing for him. I don't understand why the most hated artist is being the most copied artist. Why can't they just own up to what I've done for them and this industry? So at this point, T-Pain is really starting to grow a hatred for the industry, and it's around this time where Drake also pops off.
Yeah.
Much like T-Pain with autotune.
So T-Pain is kind of phasing out, and then Drake is kind of coming up. So this is something similar with Lupe Fiasco and Kendrick. Like Lupe Fiasco was phasing out as Kendrick was coming up. And then Kendrick kind of intercepted his fan base. Kendrick intercepted Lupe's fan base. They're very similar in the type of music they make. I think T-Pain might have done that with Drake.
Drake changed the game when he dropped So Far Gone. And while he did get a lot of hate for being soft and emotional, T-Pain already helped break the barrier that softened the blow for Drake, because since 2005, he had massive hits where he was saying things like this.
She got enough on my homies. She ain't even my main lady. All she wanna do is hurt me.
T-Pain took a look at where the game was headed. Everyone was trying to be hard, aggressive, and street.
Yeah.
So he flipped the script, and his cheat code was doing the exact opposite by being vulnerable, melodic, and singing his raps.
Sure.
Which, you know, set the stage for Kanye to do this.
My face turned to stone when I heard.
And for Drake to do things like this.
The woman that I would try.
Okay.
With a good guy.
Yeah.
And Drake was also a rapper that sang, but he was widely praised for
Did
being
Find Your Love by Drake, did that have auto-tune?
At both, while T-Pain never got that.
Jim Jones made a Find Your Love remix back then. Yeah, I remember that one. And that was in the Max B days. Shout out Max B.
Same respect as a rapper because he was boxed in as just the auto-tune guy.
See, I don't really sing. See, I'm a rapper.
Really?
Yeah. See, that's why I'm not a Chris Brown or a R. Kelly. I'm a rapper.
This is what I represent. Take the pen ass down. Hustle look like Larry Flint.
So he can actually rap, right? But we didn't get to hear it because rapping didn't.
He can dance too, T-Pain.
His bills. It was the auto-tune
for a big guy.
Paid. So there's no denying that Drake took influence from Kanye's 808s, which took influence from T-Pain. But in many ways, he did it better because he wasn't overly heavy on auto-tune, and he was actually rapping.
Spending nights in the studio trying to beat over, being a throne instead of being your own.
Soon enough, people like Jay-Z, who really delivered a blow to T-Pain's career, started to co-sign Drake. Huge artists that T-Pain really helped, like Kanye and Wayne, were the first to jump on the Drake train, with Wayne even signing him.
I can honestly say that I'm surrounded by some of the greatest people that have been preserving hip-hop. You know, like Kanye, like Wayne, like Jay.
After So Far Gone, Drake was looked at as a revolutionary artist, and T-Pain didn't get the credit for laying the groundwork.
Yeah, and T-Pain, he was also on his way out. Like, T-Pain had the Three Rings album out at the time, but then after this, I mean, he didn't drop another album until 2011. By 2011, Drake is already a superstar. His first album's already out. Best I Ever Had is already out. Like, he's already out of here. Let's get to the hate, though.
I can't find a single interview where Drake truly credits T-Pain's influence. And what's even worse, nobody seems to ever bring T-Pain up. In these interviews, T-Pain is not being brought up. Kanye is, but no one brings up T-Pain. Aside from this one...
and I think maybe Drake didn't listen to a lot of T-Pain. Maybe Drake was more inspired by Kanye. But then Kanye was inspired by T-Pain. Like without 808s and heartbreaks, Drake doesn't walk in the game so easily, rapping about what he raps about. 808s and heartbreaks kind of took the bullets, so Drake can walk in with less bullets, years later. And without T-Pain, there is no 808s and heartbreak. So I don't think Drake is like purposefully leaving out T-Pain. Drake, especially early in his career, he was overly showing love to people who influenced him at first. So I don't think he would purposefully try to leave out T-Pain. I think it's just the reality, if I had to guess, I would say it's just the reality that maybe he just listened to way more Kanye. He was way more inspired by Kanye. But by being inspired by Kanye, therefore you're inspired by T-Pain.
Reference on his song Fear from So Far Gone, I can't even find a single example where Drake claimed that he was even a fan of T-Pain's music. The one and only time where I could find that Drake ever mentioned T-Pain was after a New York Times article came out titled "Rappers Are Singers Now, Thank Drake," and people on Twitter were absolutely outraged because they felt people like T-Pain deserved those flowers. So when Elliot Wilson brought the article up, Drake finally mentioned them.
John Caramanica wrote an article about you set a blueprint for the newer generation to come. And everybody on Twitter went crazy, but it wasn't saying that rappers hadn't sang before you, but there's a lot of people who contributed.
This is the interview where Drake, he suggests that Baby Keem writes Kendrick's raps. It was just low-key, divine time low-key, not necessarily some purposeful plan from the beginning. No, I agree. And I think Drake has done maybe a lot of things maliciously. I don't think this is malicious at all, though. Hey, finally made one, Bimmy. Yeah, Bimmy, you missed. We got our other stream sniped by the Breakfast Club, so we had to re-up with this one. But it's okay. It's in the past. It's wild in hindsight looking back now. 16-year-olds in a mom crib got auto-tune on BandLab on their cell phone. Yeah, technology is going crazy.
To that thing, like there's people who inspired me. Obviously 50 Cent. You had, T-Pain and Wayne doing their, their style,
there you go,
which was huge.
So while T-Pain did usher in this new sound of melodic autotune with rapping and singing,
doesn't get a lot of credit.
It wasn't until Kanye took the style and did what he did where Drake directly became inspired by it. T-Pain was pretty much like the sketch, whereas Kanye was like the painting. And
I think the reason why is because T-Pain wasn't necessarily seen as a rapper. Kanye was already established as a rapper, and then he used autotune. So yeah, he's going to inspire more rappers because they already see themselves in him before because he's a rapper. I don't know.
Drake fell in love with,
because it's not like Kanye was that much bigger than T-Pain at the time. T-Pain was one of the biggest musicians. I just think it's because T-Pain wasn't necessarily seen as a rapper.
He was inspired by the painting, right? It's like saying that your favorite food is pizza, but you didn't give bread a shout out. You know what I mean? It was also around this time where T-Pain's singles started to miss.
Yeah.
Take Your Shirt Off, peaked at number 80, Reverse Cowgirl, number 75. And as far as making hits as a solo artist, the motion largely stopped.
Yeah.
Then in the features department, things also slowed down. Outside of Blame It with Jamie Foxx, it was clear that the T-Pain stimulus package was definitely ramping down. And
well, people stopped going to T-Pain for hooks, and then they started going to Drake. Like, the Drake effect it was crazy, man. It was crazy. A lot of people lost their career or didn't get on who would normally have got on, or they didn't get all the credit that they would normally get, like a Wale, like a Big Sean. Like, they don't necessarily get, or even Wiz Khalifa, they don't get all the flowers for what they did in their time because Drake was just doing it bigger. Like, I think we would appreciate these guys more if Drake wasn't such a dominant presence in rap at the time. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing for Drake. He had it, that's his run. But yeah, got someone like T-Pain, the way What's the Dirt is broke it down, Drake and T-Pain, they're both melodic, they're both vulnerable, they're both very good at hooks. Yeah, I mean, Drake might cannibalize T-Pain's fan base. And I think that's basically what he's saying. They started using Future for the features as well. Yeah, and then Future comes through, like Racks on Racks was early, YC, written by Future. And then, all these guys are using T-Pain's techniques, but they don't necessarily need T-Pain anymore. T-Pain reminds you more of Kanye. In what way? Future too, Yeah, Future had a crazy run. He's still on this run right now. Future, you know.
He caught that record with DJ Khaled. That was huge.
All I do is win, win, win,
Yeah.
no matter what.
And while T-Pain's numbers continued to decline, the New Kid in Town was dominating as a featured artist on the rap and R&B charts. Say Something was #1, right above it #4, Aston Martin Music #2, What's My Name #2, Fall For Your Type #1, Moment For Life #1. And if you look at who Drake is doing these features for, a lot are with artists that T-Pain delivered big hits with. You see people like Ross, Jamie Foxx, Lil Wayne, DJ
Yeah, so they stopped going to T-Pain, started going to Drake.
Khaled. So basically, in the blink of an eye, this light-skinned dude from Canada was now the new guy for hooks.
I just needed time. But here goes nothing. Pull up on the block.
Then as a solo artist, Drake also flourished with Best I Ever Had being #1, Successful #2, Forever #1,
Successful was #2,
Find Your Love #3, Miss Me #3, Fancy #4. So it took Drake around 2
Find Your Love wasn't a #1 record? Yo, what went #1 over Find Your Love?
years
That's
to pretty
crazy.
much surpass what T-Pain had done.
It had to have been like a party rock song. Party rock is in the house. Like it had to have been something crazy.
Charts. And then at this point, T-Pain was
Gangnam
really being
Style
fizzled
or
out by
something.
2011. Now, as far as the relationship between Drake and T-Pain, the common denominator between them was their friendship with Wayne. T-Pain had worked with Wayne a lot, and even before So Far Gone in 2008, Wayne took T-Pain on tour with him, and Drake was a guest at a couple of the shows. I'm gonna assume that they probably met for the first time while on this tour. And initially, T-Pain seemed to be a fan of Drake. Even when he responded to Jay-Z's Death of Autotune, he did so on the Successful beat.
So that Nouveau got me popping shit, and even worse, nobody around me.
I never heard this. I
It was
never
also
never
around the
knew
same time
T-Pain
where T-Pain
freestyle
went in
over
on
that.
Drake's Forever.
Due to all these motherfuckers hating so heavy, I done
Yo, where was I when these records came out? This must have been on a mixtape or something.
no bread to buy 20 more Chevys.
When Drake came in, I feel like he started to rap a lot more and not just like melodic rapping.
Yeah,
rapping,
yeah,
rapping.
rap,
Anyways,
yeah.
back on the conversation of Wayne and T-Pain because this is really important. It was in 2008 where they even made claims.
Shout out Auto Ghost in the chat, came with a baggie. Shout out to the top ops. Yeah, so we got to come to a consensus on the fan base name. Are we the toppers or are we the top ops? I like top ops, you know, because it sounds less sus. But it's up to y'all ultimately. We'll do a poll. We'll do a poll in the coming weeks.
Of starting a group together. Discussions around a joint project titled T-Wayne went on for years, but never came to fruition.
That should have
By
came
the
out,
end of 2010,
honestly.
T-Pain was even supposed to sign with Young Money, but at the very last minute, they decided not to sign him.
But I was actually supposed to join Young Money. You know, Baby Wayne and Slim got together, they talked, and they don't want to sign you because you're like a liability and you drink too much. So
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a great reason to not sign somebody if you're, an alcoholic.
sometimes you make a fool of yourself.
T-Pain was really
Top
excited
boss, yeah.
to sign this deal. He even had a chain made.
This is T-Pain's about to sign. He's about to sign to Young Money.
Dang.
Better after doing this.
Young Money claimed that T-Pain was a
Boy said, yo, he better after doing this.
liability because he drank too much, which seems to be the biggest cop-out ever, considering Wayne was an absolute mess during that time.
Well, Wayne is he's really close with Birdman. I think that's a pretty valid reason to not sign someone, to not employ someone. You drink too much, and yeah, if you're the boss's son, yeah, your alcoholism, your drug abuse is going to be less. It's going to be less of an issue. They're going to glaze over it a little bit more. And I feel like even though Wayne was heavy on like the lean and stuff, or at least in his raps, he still had the work ethic. He was still putting out a lot of records. I don't know what T-Pain's output was at that point. Auto Ghost again. No way I'm repping toppers. No way. At first y'all wanted to be called the toppers, man. That's what y'all wanted at first. So I think we could slowly transition into top ops. Anything but toppers is cool. We not topping. I agree. Yo, I agree. But before y'all was like, no, we the toppers and all this. And I'm like, I don't know why y'all want to be called that. We are top ops this fits the brand.
Ever, considering Wayne was an absolute mess during that time. Birdman is not walking away from money because the artist is drunk all the time. Like T-Pain was
Yeah, I like that you called him Birdman and not Baby, because I feel like there's too many men calling him Baby. It's weird.
going cold. And you've got to consider how devastating this was for T-Pain, as at the time, Young Money was on fire. They had Drake, Nicki, and Wayne dominating the charts.
And Tyga.
And getting signed could have been the lifeline that T-Pain needed to reignite his career. However, the deal fell through, and he was stuck in a stale situation with Akon and Convict, which was a label that was no longer giving T-Pain the push that he once had. Akon started focusing on other business ventures,
Africa.
and T-Pain was left without much label support. When he dropped his next album in 2011, it only sold 35,000 units in its first week, which was nearly 5.
Get the Adam 22 Joe Button drop. He says top op on there. No, you gotta send that to me. You gotta send that to me. I'll put it on the soundboard. You know I love a good soundboard. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You gotta send that to me though.
Times less than his album 3 years prior, which sold 168K. While all this is going on, he's seeing Young Money flourish. The Carter 4 sold almost 1 million copies in its first week. Drake's Take Care did 631K.
Crazy.
And Nicki did 375.
And these is real album sales. This is pre-streaming era. I think Spotify was around, but Spotify was invite only at first. It was like Europe only at first, and then if you was in America, you had to have an invite from someone in Europe or something like that, from someone who already had it. These is real album sales. Like, this is physical albums and also iTunes downloads. That's a lot of albums to be selling, man. And this is tough. This is tough because this was in the era where albums leaked all the time. Your album will leak a week before. A$AP Rocky's first album leaked a whole month before it came out. A whole month. So you battling leaks. Like the Pirate Bay and torrents were crazy. They were battling against piracy way more than what we battle against it today. And they're in an era where CDs are kind of already being phased out, but we don't have the next modern technology. Like, we don't have streaming just yet. We're in this weird in-between where CDs are kind of obsolete and seen as old technology, but we don't have the new tech yet. So, like, really, we're just buying stuff on iTunes and then downloading it, putting it on our iPod. All that factored into your battling against heavy piracy, and you still move 900. What did Wayne do? 900. What do you say? 900 something thousand, and then Drake doing 600, and then Nicki doing 300. That's a lot of albums, man.
Money flourish. The Carter 4 sold almost 1 million copies in its first week. Drake's Take Care did 631K, and Nicki did 375.
Crazy.
This missed opportunity with Young Money wasn't just like a
Lil Wayne is still popular than Drake in 2011. The first week sales prove it. Wayne peaked in popularity that year. Yeah, look, in 2011, Wayne was he was still more popular than Drake. Yeah, for sure. But Drake was catching up to him quickly.
This deal that didn't go through. This was like the nail in the coffin for T-Pain's commercial career. Speaking on that 2011 album, one of the things that held back its release was a feature from Drake, as T-Pain took to Twitter and said the following: "By the way, the song with Drake on it is the next single as well. So that's why I haven't dropped a new single yet. Just letting you know." Look, I need people to understand that a Drake single in 2011 for a T-Pain album, this could have drastically helped his album. It definitely would have helped. And it was years later where T-Pain spoke on this collaboration.
I wanted Drake to get on 5 o'clock in the morning, my record. I drove from Atlanta to Toronto. Chilled with him for like 3 days.
Nice.
I did 4 records for his album. He did 0 records for mine.
So let me guess. Drake never did the record, right?
And it turns out that T-Pain wasn't lying, as he did have backup vocals on The Real Her, which was something that
really? I
didn't
know that.
About. A lot of people don't ever notice it, but T-Pain is kind of a ghost on the record.
I never knew that.
He's in the background singing low melodies. I was blown away watching Drake direct T-Pain and telling him what to write about. I really saw
I know this can't be a first time. That's The Real Her, right? Yo, that Bilal album that leaked that never came out with Dilla Beats and Dre. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. I never heard that album, though. But I do remember that album. All right, I do remember the Dilla and Dre beats. Was that actually true? Did that leak actually have that production? Yeah, it was a tough battle against piracy back then, man. And you got to remember, so we all had iPods, right? even if you don't notice how much you might have pirated music or your friends might have pirated music, right? Think about how much music you had on your iPod. Most of us maxed out our iPods. Like we had more music than what we could fit on our iPod. Like you had to delete stuff to put new stuff on. I think we all had this issue, right? You think all those people with these iPods full of music, which was the main way to listen to music back then, was on your iPod. You think they bought every album, every song? Heck no. People was going on MediaFire. I'm not gonna say the way to do it. But people was pirating music, basically, which I don't support, right? We don't support piracy, man. But people's iPods was full of music, and a lot of that music was pirated music. The idea that you're gonna fill up a 16 gigabyte iPod full of music in 2011 with all purchased music, all music that you bought, $10, an album's $10, so you're $10 at a time, no. You're buying singles for $2, no. So to still move 600,000 albums in that era, especially in an era where CDs were looked at as old technology, that's tough right there. Oh, you got it. It's true.
Yeah, okay. As a songwriter.
So was that Bilal album good? Did it turn out to be good?
Okay, so scratch this out. I don't like that. But this, yeah, I do like that. Yeah, take it up an octave. Up an octave. Did anyone tell him we're not doing like the heavy auto-tune shit for the album? Now, from T-Pain's perspective, this definitely sucks, and I could see why he would be pissed off that Drake didn't come through, but when you look at the timeline, everything seems to fall into place. T-Pain was supposed to sign with Young Money, does some work with Drake that pretty much didn't get used, and sometime later, he's told that he isn't getting signed. So this whole feature thing with Drake, this could have been under the pretense that T-Pain was supposed to be signed to the same label. With Young Money, but it didn't happen. Which again really sucks for T-Pain because he probably thought that everything he was doing was a greater play for his opportunity with Young Money. I'm not sure when he decided to pull the pin to get that chain made, but he definitely felt like this was
Hope he got a refund.
I went and got the chain made because it seemed like it was like really a real thing that was going to happen.
I mean, it's even possible that the work that he did with Drake could have made Young Money realize that he's not a good fit, right? And literally a month after
Drake,
I
mean, maybe they heard the music and was like, actually, nah, we're good.
Drop Take Care, we get T-Pain in an interview voicing his frustrations about how Drake gets a pass for singing and he doesn't.
I don't think
so this is where the hate starts, right?
It's cool when it's like T-Pain shouldn't be rapping and singing, and then it's cool for Drake to do it.
From that point forward, Drake's success rapidly increases, and while he's reaping the benefits of being the hottest new artist on the planet with the formula of rapping and singing, T-Pain was fading.
Yeah,
it was on a flight to the BET Awards in 2013 where Usher approached T-Pain on the airplane and told him to his face that he destroyed music for singers.
We was actually going
What? Why would Usher say that?
To the 2013 BET Awards. She said Usher would like to talk to you in the back. He was like, nah man, you really fucked up music for real singers. That's the very moment that started like a 4-year depression for me.
So now think.
Well, Usher ended up using auto-tune also. What's that song? Oh my God. That's a lot of auto-tune.
About this, right? He's getting told this while he's on his way to the 2013 BET Awards.
And when they announced all of the nominees, it looks as though Drake is the one who may be winning a lot of awards this year.
So while T-Pain is sitting in his seat at these awards, after being told something by Usher that would eventually trigger a full-on depression for him, he's watching Drake take home all these awards.
Yeah.
He's probably looking at the whole thing, right? Like, Future is up for new artists.
He's looking at it like, yo, these should be my awards. I'm the blueprint for what they doing. These should be my awards.
He uses tons of auto-tune.
Yeah. I'm saying, hey,
only went drastically downhill musically for T-Pain. In 2013 and 2014, not a single feature charted, and the success that he had early on was a distant memory. In the case of Drake, he had turned into what T-Pain was in 2008, helping 14 different artists make it onto the charts in those same years.
You know what T-Pain will do good at them SeaWorld concerts. Y'all seen them what's going on at SeaWorld? Y'all seen what's going on at SeaWorld? Them concerts that they've been having at SeaWorld? Yo, I know this is random, but T-Pain will do a great SeaWorld show. I low-key want to go to one of these. But they had Soulja Boy and Bow Wow. I'm not gonna lie, this look lit. For SeaWorld, like what's going on? Look at this. Yo, they having a whole concert at SeaWorld. Look at that. SeaWorld San Diego. Oh, this in San Diego. I could go to one of these. Soulja Boy and Bow Wow was on 7/12. What's that today? That's tomorrow. Fat Joe, Waka Flocka. They got an I Love 90s tour with Color Me Bad, Rob Bass, Naughty by Nature, and Young MC. They got Trina on 8/9. Genuine. Then they got the Turn Up tour with Jaquan, Bubba Sparks, Paul Wall, and PD Pablo. What the hell is going on at SeaWorld right now? And Red Lobster. I heard Red Lobster really stepped their game up. They got a new black CEO. I might end up having to go to my local Red Lobster to see what's going on. But yo, Red Lobster and SeaWorld are making comebacks. But anyway, I say all this to say T-Pain will do a great SeaWorld show. I want to go to one of these because I was looking at they had the Yin Yang twins at SeaWorld doing the concert. It looked lit. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to, let me see if I can find that right quick. Yin Yang twins, SeaWorld. It look really, here it is right here. It look fun. Hey. Yo, this is more lit than any stadium show that I've been to. Y'all know I don't really like stadium shows. It's just not intimate. This is more lit than any stadium show I've been to. And I done seen Kendrick at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, and I done seen Drake and Future at the Staples Center, back when it was still called the Staples Center, for the Summer 16 joint. None of them concerts is more lit than this Yin Yang twins at SeaWorld. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. No, yeah, I gotta go to one of these SeaWorld concerts, and I gotta go to Red Lobster. But anyway, yo, T-Pain will do a good SeaWorld show. They try and get black money. Well, they can have my money. If it's looking like that, you got Soulja Boy and Bow Wow, you get the Yin Yang twins, T-Pain. You gonna catch me at SeaWorld, man. Two live crew at SeaWorld. Funny way of calling artists washed. I think you can get that narrative off if the shows look dry. Those shows at SeaWorld looked lit. I wonder if that's bad for the animals. At least he got the T-Pain meal at Jack in the Box. Does he? T-Pain, Soulja Boy, and Bow Wow will never get their props. Shit, they getting them at SeaWorld right now. Why didn't they do this when I went to SeaWorld? What I'm saying, when I went to SeaWorld as a kid, all it was, I mean, shout out to Shamu, but it wasn't Soulja Boy and Bow Wow.
That's right, I like my girls BBW. For your Mercedes, I'm glad you reminded me, baby. Them shows is back to back now. Word, you ain't never told no lie.
Oh yeah, this is when y'all love Drake, huh? I actually did like this song by Drake though, no lie. 2 Chainz, I did like that song. So this is around the time where I made my Is Drake a Culture Vulture video.
Drake was going crazy with
Joe
zero
was.
signs of slowing down. And this was something that T-Pain seemingly took notice of, as while on a podcast with Snoop Dogg, he explained that he was hoping to get Drake and a few other—
It was rare to be a Drake hater back then. It was rare.
—artists together for a rapper turned singer project.
Yeah, I'm trying to put together this big rapper turned singer collab. Basically, it'll be me, Andre, CeeLo, Drake. Just, you know, the rappers that sing as well.
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
You think Drake gonna do that? You think Drake gonna get on there with you and CeeLo from Goody Mob? Drake? Heck no. Most of the people going to these shows are for millennials with families or dating. Yeah, bro. The Soulja Boy and Bow Wow join us tomorrow. It's too late for me to go to that one, but maybe I can make the Trina one. You know what I mean? Maybe I can make the Trina one. Yes, wholesome ratchetness. I agree.
Do that.
I'm trying to put that together.
As you should.
And let's be real, this was in 2014, and although—
Wait, have any of y'all been to Red Lobster lately? Is it true? Is it true that Red Lobster has come back to their prime? I gotta go to Red Lobster. They got good biscuits.
Though T-Pain used to be that guy, the industry is fickle, and he was cold as ice. This is a business, and I don't think it's too far out of reach to assume that Drake wasn't interested in doing this project, and this probably made T-Pain even more bitter. At this point, he's really building up an animosity for the industry because a lot of the people that he helped
are now in Drake, yeah.
A lot of people don't know. Most of those features I did back in 2008 and 9 and 10, I did all of them for free. So I did
Rob Markman, been around for a while. Shout out Rob Markman. This is back, it says Genius level. Rob Markman was so closely associated with Rap Genius. Back then it was just called Rap Genius. Now it's called Genius. They do all types of lyrics. Back then it was Rap Genius. He was so associated with Genius, I used to think he invented it. I used to think he was like a co-founder of Genius. Is he? I don't know.
I did back in 2008 and 9 and 10. I did all of them for free. So I did a lot of stuff for free, and then, nothing was reciprocated.
Now, with respect to Drake and the work that he did for him on Take Care, whether that deal was written on a napkin or whatever, this was very likely an issue with Young Money Cash Money label and not Drake. T-Pain actually sued Cash Money years later. And look, T-Pain might have given Drake some backup vocals for a song, but realistically, he didn't help Drake that much.
Nah.
One could argue that Drake should help the guy that influenced his success, but if that were the case...
Nah, Drake don't owe him nothing. Drake don't owe this dude nothing.
Thousands of other artists would have to do the same thing. Look, the industry has never been fair. It's a business. Then it was just a year later in 2015 where T-Pain would send out another tweet about this Drake collaboration.
I think he did what he was supposed to do in terms of helping people who influenced him. I don't know if T-Pain was such a direct influence on Drake. I honestly do think Drake was more influenced by Kanye. And yeah, on Drake So Far Gone, he's rapping over Kanye beats. Maybe with or without clearance. He raps over, a couple Kanye beats on So Far Gone. For sure he rapped over, what was that song? Why Do I Feel So Alone? Say What's Real. It's a Kanye beat. So maybe Kanye isn't properly credited, right? But then on Drake's first album, he has a Kanye song on there. He's got Find Your Love, which is like a cut from 808s and Heartbreaks. It literally sounds like a song, a throwaway song that Kanye didn't use, and he just gave it to Drake. And then, Kanye also produces Show Me a Good Time on that same album. So Drake paid the homage to the person he was inspired by. I don't know if T-Pain needs to be included in that. After Dark from Scorpion does sound like T-Pain vibes. Would be cool to hear him over that. I don't remember that song. And that's actually one of the few Drake albums that I like, Scorpion, but I don't remember that song. Oh, Rob Markman is a co-founder of Genius. Yeah, I thought so. Because for a while, Rap Genius and Rob Markman, there was like one and the same. I used to always associate Rob Markman with Rap Genius. So yeah, shout out to Rob Markman. Funny enough, T-Pain never cried about it like the Canadian did. Okay.
Drake was supposed to be on 5 o'clock, and that didn't happen. So
I have no issue with Canadians. They was nice to me when I went there.
Well, so this Drake feature was obviously
cold out there, though,
him, and that's understandable. So it seems like T-Pain was really hoping that this Drake collaboration would one day come to fruition, but at a certain point, he realized it wasn't going to happen, and this is where he really starts to turn, starting with his comments about Drake using writers.
If somebody say that they're the best, and they don't say that I'm the best, I got the best team doing this, like, I'm the collectively the best, like, then it kind of gets like, oh, you lied. We found out you lied. It's like a Milli Vanilli thing. They was the best singers for a while until we found out that they were.
You know who could bring T-Pain back? Because T-Pain, there's no doubt in my mind, he can still make great music. If he was on a Kendrick album. Kendrick next hit record, featuring T-Pain, featuring SZA.
Weren't the singers.
To be fair, I don't think he said anything wrong. I agree with him. But, comparing Drake to Milli Vanilli is probably not what Drake wants to hear, especially when Meek made that his cover art. And honestly, this is probably something else that bothers T-Pain because he is an artist that does it all. If you look at his projects, he's the writer and the producer of 90% of his music.
Nice.
At this point in his
I respect
career,
that.
in terms of even putting together a solid team, he probably didn't have the biggest budget from his label, and artistically, he was maybe even against it. Even back on the Forever beat, he was mentioning not having writers.
Ain't nobody writing songs for me.
And pretty much from this point forward, whether T-Pain realizes it or not, he essentially turns into an undercover Drake hater.
I can't express enough love for Drake without feeling gay.
Did you hear side B of...
Well, he's bitter. He's just bitter. He's bitter because Drake kind of cannibalized his fan base, doing the same things that he used to do. It's literally the there's another parallel. Lupe Fiasco and Kendrick. It's the same thing. Or if not the same, it's very similar. They're mad that someone else came along doing similar things that they did, but just did it way bigger and cannibalized their fan base. That's how I see it.
Scorpion. What do you think about it?
First of all, half of it's me. Let's just get that out the way.
Half of it's what?
Me, nigga.
I can understand T-Pain saying that Side B is emotionally familiar, but saying that it sounds like him really overlooks the style evolution that
I never got that from that album. I never listened to Scorpion and was like, yo, this is T-Pain. That just never happened for me.
T-Pain, you're a legend, bro, but this is hate and jealousy. That's what this is. Shortly after, T-Pain even admitted that he used to be...
T-Pain might have sounded good on Element. Oh, you might be onto something. Mark Oliver, imagine T-Pain doing that hook on Element. I gotta say a pussy, yeah, I think I'm gonna make it look sexy. Yo, I hear you. I see your vision. I see where you're going.
People who took influence from his style, but that he had matured and now he appreciates it.
Everything is connected, man. And I used to be jealous of it, and I used to be, envious, and I used to hate it. I used to hate it, but now that I'm just a more mature person, now it's flattering.
Maybe it makes him feel better to say it out loud, right?
Yeah.
But this interview was only 8 months after the Joe Budden interview. To make matters worse, in 2019, T-Pain revealed that at one point, after spending $40 million, he was stone cold broke and even needed to borrow money to get his kids Burger King.
When you say you was broke, was you had like $0 broke?
I had to borrow money to get my kids Burger King.
T-Pain made a lot of money, but it was pretty much the moment when Drake came into the picture where features really dried up for him.
Yeah. That's accurate. That's an accurate statement. That's the consensus. That's the hypothesis, I should say, that I came to at the beginning of the video. Like, yo, as T-Pain kind of fell off, Drake kind of rose up. And that might be why why T-Pain has like this animosity.
His album and music in general.
I have a theory that Drake is like Rogue from X-Men. We'll explain later. What? You got to explain that now. I wonder if T-Pain is this mad at Future.
Didn't sell like it used to, and after a string of bad investments and with a team that gave him terrible financial advice, he went broke. While all this was going on, Drake was reportedly worth $200 million, and he was dominating the charts with a style that T-Pain helped pioneer. In a lot of ways, Drake became the face of the music industry, which was the exact same industry that abandoned T-Pain and treated him like a gimmick.
Yeah.
Drake had everything that T-Pain didn't. A strong, well-connected team, massive label support, huge budgets, and backing from the same label that T-Pain was denied from, Young Money. While Drake was on a 10-year run of success, T-Pain's mainstream career burned out in just a few years, and Akon himself even talked about this.
As someone who signed T-Pain, why do you think that people stop fucking with him to the same extent?
I saw T-Pain as another me, to be able to cross outside of urban, go into pop, go into EDM, go into his Latin, like urban art.
Well, T-Pain was way bigger than Akon. Akon had some great songs, hit records, but I think T-Pain was more talented vocally and as a songwriter. You can even blame the business approach of Convict. Look at Akon too. You can't just be the hooks guy. That can't be your bread and butter. Well, T-Pain wasn't just the hooks guy, right? T-Pain, what's the dirt mentioned? He wrote, he produced his own stuff, and he had legitimately great songs that people know word for word outside of the hooks. But yeah, he was the hook guy too. Y'all remember that song "You and That Booty" by E40? That was a big record. That was a great T-Pain hook. Or you like Ice Cold Bishop? Well, let me see. Ice Cold Bishop. I need to see what he looked like because I think I know the name, but I don't. No, never listened to him before. Is he good or not?
Audience aren't loyal. They fickle. Every year there's a new nigga. And then right as that new slide or side nigga coming, you exit. Give him his space.
So Akon is saying that T-Pain didn't continue on his path of success because he wasn't able to crack global markets, and this was something that Drake truly excelled at.
Yeah.
People try so
Cringe.
hard to hold on But hip hop just it's a sticker and mover. It don't stick around long enough unless you continue to reinvent yourself.
And
Yeah,
T-Pain
smack
didn't
that,
like
yeah.
this, what Akon said. He was pissed. The very people that held me back is telling y'all how I could have been bigger. I mean, the owner of the record label that he was signed to is basically saying without saying it.
I think T-Pain has, based on what we know, he has every right to be bitter about his experience with the music industry. I don't see why he shouldn't be bitter. I think it's just misdirected at Drake, right? I think he's just misdirecting the anger at Drake.
You needed to be more on par with how Drake was moving, right? And as time went on, it became painfully clear to T-Pain that the Drake era, the very wave that disrupted his run back in 2009, wasn't going anywhere. In fact, it was only growing stronger. The longer that Drake stayed on top, the more brash T-Pain became, and the more his envy started to show. It's all good. Soft Dark Dudes wasn't the wave at the time, but Drake made it okay to simp, I guess, and now people are understanding what I was saying all those years ago. It just took a light-skinned dude to get y'all to listen.
Yeah,
and
he's still bitter about
the
this.
beige baby lottery. Like, T-Pain probably thought, okay, this Drake era thing, this is going to fizzle out. The same thing that happened to me is eventually going to happen to him. But that didn't happen. And that's the psychology behind him and what he's saying in 2025, that Drake should retire. He's been waiting for this. Of course he's saying it. Now, I would hope by this point in the video, you should very clearly see that T-Pain is a bitter and jealous person.
Yeah.
But if you weren't convinced, wait till you see clips from his podcast.
And again, I think T-Pain has every right to be bitter based on his experience in the music industry, based on how people treated him at first, but then they went on to accept 4 or 5 years later, they went on to accept people who did the same thing he did with the auto-tune, but they do it less effectively. They're not as talented. They can't sing. They don't produce. They don't songwrite. So yeah, you guys threw stones at me, but then you accepted these guys. I think he has the right to be bitter, but yeah, I think his bitterness is misdirected at Drake, and it's literally the same thing with Lupe Fiasco and Kendrick. Yes, Lupe, you have every right to be bitter about your experience in the music industry. You had to protest Atlantic Records to get your album Lasers out. They made you change everything up on your album because they didn't think it would sell well after you were already a platinum selling artist. Like they're still doubting you. They won't let you be conscious on records. They won't let you have creative control. And then you have someone like Kendrick who comes out and kind of does the same thing you were doing, like the whole good kid in a Mad City shtick. I'm, in the hood, conscious raps, but not corny. Yes, that was Lupe before Kendrick. So for Kendrick to come through and do what you did, but amplify it and do it way bigger, and he doesn't have all these constraints that you had, and he's given creative control. Yes, I see why you were bitter. But Kendrick, similar to Drake, he doesn't deserve to have your anger directed at him. He didn't do anything to you. But yes, your anger towards the music industry is understood. And you do have every right to be angry. But don't direct it at Kendrick. Don't direct it at Drake. Hey.
TV show, but
Rogue gets near to you and takes your strengths. Drake does that and takes off with your market share. He did it with R&B. Now people don't like R&B. They like Drake's rendition. Okay, I see where you're going with that. I can never take One Dance seriously. One Dance was a hit, man. I think we gave Drake too much credit in hip hop. If you ask me, T-Pain is on the best run of his career, even though he doesn't put out much anymore. Really? I haven't listened to any T-Pain recent music, so is it that good? T-Pain got some bangers nowadays?
Get into this music shit, you might want to work with him.
He gonna be a gangster at some point.
I said shit. Hit me.
He's from a TV show now. He gonna be a gangster at some point. I got soft his voice.
Keep going.
His arms is mad little.
Okay, next one. Stop.
Drake has some little ass arms at that point, dude.
What?
This is the way you're doing this is funny.
Stop.
Drake, please don't beat me up.
Load that.
Don't beat me up, Drake, please.
He's really trying to tell this story, and T-Pain continuously cuts in with these
shots. Yeah,
he's gonna run for 7 minutes.
Absolutely, for sure. Weird ass cadence.
This is the hate that Drake was talking about, right? He wasn't wrong.
I met Drake in 07.
Okay.
Yo, how is Drake even seeing this? Yo, Drake be on the internet. Yo, he be watching shit super close. Like, yo, if anybody talk crazy about me, just know I saw it. Yo, Drake, yo. I think a lot of these rappers like Jay-Z, Drake, Kendrick, I do think they watch the same stuff as us. They just pretend like they don't see it, but they be watching it. You know what I mean?
Starting out his bad. Yeah,
How would Drake even see these like small shots? How would he see this? Dude, he was watching this shit live. He went in his notepad like, all right, noted. To my hate list, to the op list, we adding T-Pain. He said this and this. Crazy work.
In Toronto 07, he gave me his.
Honestly, I'll probably do the same thing though. Like, if it got too crazy, I'll definitely count my ops, put them on a list.
Demo. He had like a mix.
Ain't gonna lie.
I go, nah, I'm not looking for artists right now. Yes! Fucking yes!
Javi said Eminem definitely watches reactions and reviews of his music. Drake is tapped in. That's what makes him great. He's chronically online. All Drake haters do now is try to explain how his success is a fluke. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a fluke. You know, and I'm someone who wasn't a huge fan of Drake. But after like the fourth or fifth hit record, it's kind of like, all right. Like, it's nothing else you can say. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not looking for artists right now. Perfect. I like that one a lot. That's my favorite one.
It's not that funny, but T-Pain loves it. He loves hearing about a time where Drake's demo got passed up, where Drake got denied. He loves it, clearly. When T-Pain insinuated that maybe it was time for Drake to retire, this was a full-on projection of his own failed musical career. When Drake came in, T-Pain was on his way out.
Yeah,
Drake never really seemed to acknowledge T-Pain as a direct influence because he was influenced by Kanye.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't even think this is Drake being purposefully malicious. I just literally think he wasn't directly influenced by T-Pain. I think he truly was influenced by Kanye. Like Drake, over his career, he's always shouted out, like he's been very generous in shouting out people who inspired him or people whose music he likes. Like he gives features to random people like Block Boy JB and I Love McConan, like just random. You know what I mean? So I think if he was actually inspired by T-Pain, he would have for sure shouted him out. I just don't think his influence was Kanye. Which yes, Kanye was inspired by T-Pain directly, but that doesn't mean Drake then has to pay T-Pain homage. That ain't how the math work. Either he's chronically online or people send him clips. True. It wasn't a fluke. He has the form. But you think people send him clips? Like if you knew a celebrity, would you just keep sending them stuff like hate? Like, yo, this person said this person said that. I don't think people would do that. Or if they did do that, I think the celebrity would like, all right, I'm gonna block you. You sending me too much stuff. I honestly think they'd be watching. He cleared a premiere and then didn't rap on it. Drake deserves some hate. I don't know. I don't know the business. I don't know the business behind it.
It's influenced by Kanye. People like Jay-Z, who put a massive dent in T-Pain's career, embraced Drake. A lot of the same artists that T-Pain once worked with closed the doors on him and eventually went to work with Drake.
Yeah, and I think this part, I can understand why T-Pain's bitter. But it shouldn't be directed at Drake, who did nothing to you. It should be, I understand why you're bitter about the whole situation, though. You have a right to be bitter. But like, unless Drake did something to you, I don't see why you're directing the anger at him.
Drake became the new T-Pain and the go-to guy for hooks. He was signed to the exact same label that decided not to sign T-Pain, which was really the last chance to reignite his career. T-Pain had high hopes of working with Drake once in 2011 and again for the project he talked about with Snoop in 2014. He went on to bring up these collaborations multiple times. Drake flourished as a rapper and a singer while T-Pain was clowned for it. Drake became the face of the very industry that abandoned T-Pain, and unlike T-Pain's short stint at the top, Drake flourished for 15 years. T-Pain is arguably one of the most influential artists in hip-hop history. He deserves every bit of flowers and then some.
Yeah,
but T-Pain is a bitter, jealous hater who sees Drake as a representation of what he could have been or what he thought he should be.
Damn. Okay. That's damn. What's the dirt? Took the gloves off right there. Bitter, jealous hater. Dang. I wouldn't put that much sauce on it, but I do think there's some misdirected anger. You know what I mean? A guy who blew up from a free Dat Piff mixtape before he was even signed to. Oh, you talking about Drake? Yeah, I don't think Drake was an industry plant. I don't think he's an industry plant. Like, people genuinely like Drake's music. I know it's hard for people to understand in 2025, but people really like Drake's music. That's just how it is, how it was. People definitely send him clips. Act TV does, but I think most celebs do that. They have an internet researcher. You think so? You think so? Drake, if you're in the chat, let us know. Let us know. People send you clips, or you just chronically online? You're trolling. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll argue in the chat. DJ Premier B, let me see where we at. T-Pain is on his best run yet? Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to some new T-Pain music. You talking about his new music, right? STR Game Takes? Shout out to King Hama in the chat. We almost done though. You said what up, but it's okay. You can go rewatch it. You know what I mean?
No, really, this
we got a
video
minute
is
left.
Perfectly good example of going outside of a narrative that's being painted about Drake. Like in this case here with this T-Pain situation, it's very easy to package up this info and sell it as, oh, Drake is just being soft and emotional. He's mad at T-Pain because T-Pain critiqued his career, and Drake is just being
like, what was Drake's responses to all this though? Like, how many times have Drake responded to this, like to the hate? What has he said about T-Pain?
soft, right? That's an easy narrative to sell in 2025.
I think he put it in the
and happens
beginning
to
of the
Drake a
video.
lot. But when you actually look at the facts and really give some nuance to it, what Drake was saying was 100% correct. It all had merit.
Okay. See, I didn't know T-Pain. Well, I actually don't really pay that much attention to T-Pain nowadays. But I didn't know T-Pain had that kind of bitterness about Drake. I knew he was bitter about the music industry, but I didn't know he was bitter about Drake like that. So, great video about What's the Dirt. Let me hit the like button. Make sure I hit the like button and hit the like button on this video too. So anyways, yeah. For those who are still here, thank you, because, you know, we did get our stream sniped. Trying to watch that Clips interview from the Breakfast Club. I knew that was going to happen. I had a feeling it was going to happen. But yeah, we ended up hitting more concurrent viewers on this live stream on the re-up than we did on the original. So that's perfectly fine. So yeah, anyway, that's all I got for today. A little bit of housekeeping. Got plenty of new videos on the channel. The Let God Sort 'Em Out album review. Yo, if y'all like my album reviews, because I do a lot of different content, right? I'll do the reactions. I'll do like individual song breakdowns. I'll do like, you know, rebuttaling DJ Academics. You know, I'll do just reading an article about hip hop, talking about it. The type of content that y'all like the most, just hit the like button. That's y'all currency. That's how y'all tell me I like when you do these type of videos more. And then when those videos get more engagement, I will do more videos like that. So if you like the album reviews, this is literally 20 straight minutes of me talking about nothing but music. I'm not talking about no beef with Travis Scott. I'm not talking about no beef with Drake. I'm literally talking about music for 24 straight minutes. So if you like these type of videos more, just hit the like button, man. Then that let me know, okay, I should do more of these types. But if other types of videos get more likes, I'm more likely to do those types. So your like button is your currency. That's how you vote. That's your voting mechanism, right? So yeah, plenty of new videos on the channel, and I got one in the tuck. I have one recorded. I just need to edit it and post it. It's regarding the Clips album. Might post that tomorrow. But we got to see. I'm going to end up going to Red Lobster because I need to see what's up with Red Lobster because I've been hearing some great things about Red Lobster. I got to get on that Larry June and Cardo album tonight. Yeah, shout out Larry June. Shout out the Bay Area, San Francisco. Clips dropped a classic. I don't know if it's a classic yet, but it's a good album for sure. Album was good, yo. Album was good. Album reviews are cool, but it's better when they're more like recommendations. Okay, I hear you. I heard Boldy dropped too. Yeah, Boldy James dropped something with, was it Nicholas Craven? Yeah, Larry June album clean. Yeah, I'm gonna get that Larry June to spin too. Anytime Cardo drops, you know, I love Cardo beats. He's got a real West Coast feel on his beats. So anyway, that's all we got for today. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, let me fix my hat. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.